Hi, Wendy here from wendybottrell.com, and today our topic is how your core values guide you to live your best life. And I found this quote: your core values are the deeply held beliefs that authentically describe your soul. And that quote's by John C. Maxwell. And many people give up on their goals and desires way too early in the process of achieving them. And this might be something that you relate to. Today our topic: let your core values guide you to find your best and healthy life. Maybe you've decided that you want to reduce your weight, and yet on day 2 of the process you're already willing to quit. Or maybe start again next week. I hear that a lot. Oh, I'm going to start next Monday. Maybe if you're dissatisfied with how your life is turning out, start by finding out why you're feeling this way. Once you put your finger on the why, it's time to focus on changing your mindset from the toxic negative self-talk to an optimistic, productive mindset that will help you stay the course while you begin to create your clear why and develop the practice of discipline to keep moving forward to your desired outcome. We're diving into the idea of living your core values to help you stay on track with your goals. The gift of quitting too soon is you get to realize right away what you must change for you. This will help you assess what needs to change, where you can clarify your values, and start making plans. Once you find the path that leads to your true self, keep at it. Change doesn't happen overnight, but if you remain resilient, disciplined, and work hard to be clear on your why towards your goals, you can achieve much more than you ever thought possible. Create a life that reflects your values. Way back in the year 2000, I took my first life coaching course. To tell you it was life-changing would definitely be an understatement. In this first course, we learned about values. I had never heard of living your values, and no one in my life to that point had ever even discussed how important core values are in life or what they were. It was an exciting course for me, and since that day I've made it a point to practice living my values. One reason we're unhappy is that we've strayed from our core values and the goals we set for ourselves. And I can see this every single time for me. If I stray from my values, I'm not as focused or happy or any of the important things that I feel for my life. You may be able to relate to that as well. One of the reasons that we are unhappy is that we've strayed, like I said, from the values and the goals that we set up. We're just not achieving the goals because we don't know our why, we don't know our values. Even if you've never said your goals out loud or wrote them down in a diary, they're stored deep in your mind. Then, when the life we're living isn't getting us anywhere near these goals, we feel anxious and maybe on edge. But many times we don't connect the two things. So we keep muddling through, making us more anxious and driving us even further away from our goals and our values. Family, friends, and society are another factor that drives a wedge between us and our authentic selves. They all have their own opinion of us and how we should live our lives. And they're not afraid to tell us repeatedly, right? Many times we seem to tell ourselves that it's just easy to follow along. It's not, by the way. After all, they know us better than ourselves, so who are we to doubt them? But the reality is, when you carry out another person's idea of how you should live, it ultimately backfires because you're not following your true path. When was the last time you took a moment to think about your core values? Have you ever taken time to seriously consider what your values are? We aren't talking about something's monetary worth here. Your personal core values, or your basic and fundamental knowing and attitudes that guide your actions, are a part of how you live your life. You see, living in a way to honor your core values is very powerful. Today I'll share with you the way I was able to clarify my values. If you set aside some time, an hour would be an excellent start so you can do this. Why would you want to take the time to clarify your values to live a healthy and vibrant life? Living your values is really what makes your heart sing. Living your values allows you to honor yourself at a core level. When I learned what my core values are, it changed everything when it came to my health, and for that I'm very grateful. Understanding and defining your personal values is a major step forward, living the life you want to live. When you focus on your fundamental values, you ensure you're living your life in a way that suits you and all your goals, dreams, and interests. So what are some examples of core values? There are quite a few personal values out there. Values differ in importance from person to person. In fact, differences in values often lead to conflicts and controversy between people. While the importance of different values varies so greatly from person to person, here's a few examples of what some core values might be. Adventure, loyalty, creativity, empathy, boldness, strength, relationship, faith, humor, happiness, knowledge, optimism, love, self-respect, honesty, status, trustworthiness, health and fitness, and many, many more. Personal values can often be described in one word, capturing the essence of larger opinions and feelings about something. In some cases, you may want to string a few words together that will help clarify those important core values. For example, if one of your personal values is relationships, it may be very important for you to honor all your relationships, romantic, familial, friendship, and otherwise. So how do you determine what your true personal values are? Your personal values exist deep within you. They're not something your family taught you. They're not something you learned in school. They're just a part of you. These values, when measured against how you're making choices and living your life, help you determine whether you're living the life the way you truly want to live. Often your values can be a big indicator of whether you're following the right pathway in life. These values work in sync with your intuition. For example, when you get that sudden urge that something doesn't feel quite right, consider how the present situation aligns with your personal values. If it clashes with your personal values and knowledge, you're likely getting signals that you're heading down a path that won't make your heart sing. Determining your core values can be tricky for some, but there are ways to narrow down your feelings and best understand where your fundamental beliefs lie. There are a number of methods to determine your core values. One way would be to remember and write out a peak life experience. Or maybe you want to write about a person you admire, whether they're dead or alive. Either one of these ways will show you very quickly what those core values are. Another way to begin determining your personal values is to look through an extensive list of them. You can find them online or in various psychology or self-help books. Browse the list and determine which values resonate with you most. Don't spend a ton of time considering each one extensively. Instead, allow your intuition to guide you and quickly highlight each one that feels right to you. Once you've highlighted the list, focus on the ones you marked with more consideration. Think about why each of these values stood out to you and jot down a few notes for each one. At this point, you can take even your remaining values and arrange them in a list, beginning with the ones you find most important. So how can you choose your core values to live the life you want? People face tough challenges and decisions every day. However, when you have a good grasp of what your core values are, you're more likely to make choices in a way that makes you feel confident in your decision making. For example, after making your list of personal values, keep it handy. The next time you face a tough challenge, pull out your list. Consider each of your options against your personal values. Which choice best aligns with your values? Are there any options that seem to push against your personal values? Use these driving questions with your list of values to make an informed decision you can feel good about afterward. By doing this work now, you can live your best life. By going through the process to clarify your values will allow you to do the things you've never had for yourself. So we'd love to hear your comments. Share them in the area below, and share this post if you found value here today, and we would appreciate that and thank you. Be sure to get in touch with us and let us know how we can help you. One of our core values is health, fitness, moving well, living well. And what we know for sure is walking is a link to living a healthy and vibrant life. We believe walking inspires the mind, activates the body, and nourishes the soul. And we have a free walking challenge. We'll share the link to sign up for that in the show notes. And this walking challenge is appropriate for all fitness levels, although it is really tailored for beginners. You'll also get a tip a day, which gives you a little more insight in how to walk, what to wear, going outside or using a treadmill, and even journaling your entries about your experience. So we want to thank you for connecting here. Again, please like and share if you found value. We do invite you to subscribe to our channel, and be sure to hit the bell so you'll be notified when we produce new content. I'm Wendy. WendyBottrell.com is where you can find out more about us. Thanks. Bye for now.